requested by Brandon. So, Brandon, here we go. Have you had the chance to watch Kung Fu Panda 4 yet?
No, not yet.
Boy, you got to see it. Now, I know we did our review on the first one, and we haven't done part 2 or part 3. Did we do the show?
I want to say yes, but not all of it. Like, I think we only did like some of the seasons. Like, one of the seasons.
The Dragon Knight.
Yeah, Dragon Knight.
Well, Kim and I saw it last night, the part 4, that is. And I had to say, it is the best one after the first one.
Is that because you saw the image of was it Ty Lee? No, not Ty Lee.
Tai Long.
Tai Long.
Ian McShane is in it, yes, and I love his voice. But it's not about him. It's just the action's better. The story is just as good as the first one. And Poe is different in the sense of persona, where in the second and third, he was more like still learning or doubting himself, where here he didn't doubt himself. And I don't know where Demon Knight falls in the sense of the stories, in the sense of where does it fall between part 1 or after the first movie, the second movie, the third movie, or happens before the fourth or after the fourth. I don't know where that story of Dragon Knight, excuse me, falls in. But it's definitely worth the watch without giving any spoilers of the movie. Jack Black is awesome. I mean, I'll just say this, that because it's on social media, his rendition of Britney Spears' "Hit Me Baby One More Time," that rendition is amazing. And they have a song of Ozzy Osbourne's "Crazy Train," but done in Chinese, with Chinese music, I mean.
Okay.
Not Chinese lyrics, but the musical instruments.
Okay.
Because I heard it, I was like, wait, I know this song. And I started singing along, I started saying the words. I was like, oh, snap. Then that's what it was. But anyway, you guys better see it. But that's not what we're here to review. We're here to review the live action, which seems to be a trend now with Disney and Netflix. The live action from once inspired or done by animation, Avatar, The Last Airbender, with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 59% by the critics and 75% by the audience. Yep. Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel.
I'm Adan.
Where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. So Avatar, The Last Airbender is currently streaming on Netflix, the live action, even though the animation is also streaming on Netflix, which was originally on Nickelodeon back in, 1990? What was it?
I don't think it was in the 90s. I want to say it was in past the new millennium. Yeah, I was right. 2005, February 21st, 2005.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So you have this series, the live action series that is, directed by Michael Kyo, Roseanne Yang, Jabbar Rassani, and Jet Wilkinson. Written by, now the list is long because you have the live action writers, you have from the original creators, Michael Dante DiMartino, which did the animation, Andre Wong Kennedy, Albert Kin, Brian Konietzko, Kelly MacDonald, Christine Boland, Joshua Hale Volkov, Emily Kim, Gabriel Lanas, Uba Mohammed, Hunter Rise. Then you have here playing the main roles, and then some co-stars, if you will. Gordon Cormier, who played Aang, Kiwa boy, how can you say that? The girl who played Katara.
Kia Wentio,
thank you. Ian Usley, Ahsoka, Dallas Liu as Prince Zuko, Paul Song-hyung Lee, which was Uncle Iroh, which I love. To me, he was like the best out of the series.
The best all around.
Yes. Daniel Day Kim was Fire Lord Ozia. Then you have here Matthew Young Kim, who was Appa. Ken Long was Commander Zhao, he's a great villain. He's done multiple. He did one with Rush Hour, again with Jackie Chan. Excuse me. Lieutenant G, played by Rue Iskander. Elizabeth Yu played Azula. Urkarsh Umbaker. Hey, that's a hard name for me to say. Who was King Boomy? He was the one I told you about that he plays in that show you like about those dead people in the house.
Oh, he was the husband. Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And you have also here Danny Pudi. He's from Mythic Quest. He's from Community. He played the machinist. No, machine. No.
That's machinist.
It's Mechan. The Mechanist. That's how they pronounced it.
Okay.
And then you have here also A. Martinez, which was a famous one-time soap opera actor. He played Master Paku. He was the waterbender master.
Oh, okay.
And you also have Francois Chow. how you say that freaking name? Anyway, he was the great sage of the Fire Nation. He was in the Tick.
Yes, yes, yes.
He
He
was
played
the
Arthur's stepdad.
correct. George Takai as Ko. C.S. Lee as Avatar Roku, who was also in Dexter. And he was also in Brother's Son, which just got canceled. And I told you about that. I told you they're going to cancel it. Netflix has this freaking bad history of canceling shows that actually rock.
I mean,
Brother's
they're
Son,
making room for new seasons of The Last Airbender.
but you don't have to. I mean, granted, it was like 2 million an episode to make for Avatar. I understand that, but still, Brother's Son had a good following.
Yeah.
It was in like the top 10. Tamlin Tomita, she's in this as well. She's Yukari. She's from The Karate Kid. She's from
Yes.
Monarch. Randall Duck Kim, he was Wan Shi Tong. He was the keymaker in the Matrix movies. As also, he is from the Kung Fu Panda. He was the turtle, Ugle. So what do you think in the sense of the live action? I mean, I was a fan of the animated series, and I love the spin-off that they did of Korra.
Okay.
And that show is also great for a different reason. Here, I had a blast with it. It's only 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Each episode is about an hour long, where in the animation series, they're half hour, and they're like 22 episodes. But what do you think? How do you think this was done in a way for live action, how it translated?
I think for what it is and for the translation, it was pretty good. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'll put it in this way. In tiers of live action that Netflix has did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, One Piece was top tier conversion.
Okay.
Then Cowboy Bebop, they had some of the essence in some areas, but they were missing a lot. And then there was like Death Note, hovers the bottom.
But Death Note was Japanese, and Netflix bought it to carry over here, right?
Still a bad adaptation.
I understand, but like say so One Piece, Avatar, that was Netflix produced.
And Cowboy was made for Netflix.
But Death Note wasn't.
Fair enough.
But in your quick opinion,
Avatar will be below One Piece.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Above Cowboy.
Okay, yes, definitely above Cowboy. The Cowboy Bebop did have their moments, but I think this one follows more of the animation series, especially on the end, the credits, where they're having the drums, just like the show did.
Yes.
They didn't do exactly the same intro where earth, wind, fire.
No, they summarized that with the one telling of the grandma saying that.
Right, exactly. They did it one time and then they just dropped it. I don't mind that. I mean, I love the original series because of the martial arts aspect.
Yes.
And then and also like Jedi aspect with it as well, because you're connecting with nature in one aspect or another. Like, okay. So, but here is like, because that's within Jedi's too, because Jedi's, even though they may have some basics that they all have, you have some Jedi or Sith that have strength in certain aspects.
You can argue like the Force is just the overall fundamentals of nature itself. So like each nation is tapping into the Force. It's just certain aspects of it that they tap into. Like certain Jedi can tap into certain aspects, whereas the Sith can tap into certain aspects.
Exactly.
So I get that.
But I'm saying, but some Jedi can heal. Some Jedi knows how to manipulate visuals in other aspects. You know, some can force run or speed run where others can't. Some jump higher, some jump lower, right? You know, all that stuff, right? That's what I liked about it with the animated series, and they're using martial arts. So like a lot of it is Tai Chi influence, and is very seldom they captured it here in the live action as well. It's like they use the elements, but they also have hand-to-hand combat, like actual making contact with one another. They captured this very well. Liu, who played Prince Zuko, Zuko. I keep saying Zuko. Zuko, that's her cousin. He got the kicks right, because that's what the animated show would have the kicks. And the same thing, the spinning back kick or the jumping crescent kick. Great. Now, the only person I really had a problem with Aang, his portrayal, not in the sense of martial arts, but in the sense of acting. His head was going like this, like I was watching a young Asian male version of Katharine Hepburn. The head just shaking while he's talking.
So you didn't like they emoted with his head.
But with anything, everything, dude, just stay. I mean, I get it. Some actors don't know that yet. He probably didn't know. He's probably not, even though he's young, not as seasoned as others. So sometimes they emote with their head instead of their body or with their diction or voice.
I call that Power Ranger syndrome.
Oh yes, but that's what the whole body says. Like, you must now come
Yeah,
over
but when
here.
they zoom in like from chest up and the Power Rangers are talking, their head will be constantly moving. Like
Well,
they
that's
have to
because
move their head in order to talk.
well, they're wearing a helmet.
We could still hear their voice.
Yeah, but it's not their voice. Is
I understand, but I'm saying like you're watching
dubbed.
the Power Rangers. Like as a kid, you still see this.
No, I understand, but they're wearing a helmet, right? Where Aang here is not wearing a helmet. We can see his facial movements, but I see this too. The childlike aspect of Aang in the animated series was more, in my opinion, lighthearted. Where here it felt a little more, and understandably so, he's depressed.
Well, yeah, I mean, in this version, is more of a darker version than what the animated was.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand it because
it's Netflix.
Well, not just as Netflix. That really doesn't have anything to do with it. But the thing is, the aspect of all of his people have been taken out.
True.
And he was in a sleep, not really sleep. He was in
hibernation.
What's the state? But what's the state called when he's all lit up?
Avatar state.
Jesus Christ! Hello, Avatar state for like about 100 years. But I mean, that's just nipping as minor in comparison to everything that happened with the show. I'm very pleased with it. Do you have a favorite moment?
I like small moments when it came to Avatar, and that was the thing I was looking for, like the little small character moments. I really enjoy. Like I did enjoy some of the scenes with I'm going to call her the Moon Princess. I'm going to forget her now.
Oh, the girl from Prey.
Yes.
I forgot. That's her. Yeah, she's from Prey. She wasn't here. She looked weird. I mean, maybe it's the hair.
It was the hair. Absolutely.
She looked so different.
I enjoyed her. I get the homage that they did to Secret Tunnel. So it was nice. I started singing Secret Tunnel right after it because it got stuck in my head. I kind of liked the moments between Iroh and Zuko. Those are the best moments, I thought, in the series.
Especially where they're at the funeral.
Yeah.
Because Iroh's son died.
And he gives him the item and he starts crying.
And he sits next to each other. They sit next to each other. Yeah. I like their connection, their chemistry.
Yeah.
Just like the show.
Zuko and Iroh, that was the best part of the show for me overall. I kind of get Sokka. I kind of get, his character is meant to be slightly annoying at times. And
he looked like an anime character.
He characterized Sokka very well. Yeah.
Well, no, his face. He looks like anime. Like he looks weird. Sorry to say, but he does. That mouth of his is like he put his lips inside his own mouth. It was just weird how it looked. Sorry, I mean, maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but he looks weird.
But it made him look like the character, so
he looks a lot like the character. Definitely.
I also like the fire, even though it's not part of the series. The attack on the air temple was actually pretty cool.
Oh, they're showing that. Yes, they do show it later, I believe, in the animated series. They go in more detail. Where they took Liberation, they did it first.
Yeah,
because from what I remember from the animated, they're in the South Pole and they find Aang.
What I remember from the animated is that you just see the aftermath. But
right,
yeah.
But I'm saying they find him they help him escape, if you will, or to awaken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Amber Midthunder was Princess Yu. You were saying there's some really good moments here. The martial arts in it is very good. I do like that where in the sense of who at the end it's basically Godzilla.
Godzilla Koi.
The water version because it looked like Godzilla since with the size and the back with
the fins, yeah,
scales, the fins. I just thought that was kind of fun for me. I don't remember how it is in the animated version.
Very similar. Very similar, actually.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it. And I watched this series like 2, maybe 3 times. But still, it's like a lot of episodes. Ken Leung, he was awesome. A great villain. Daniel Day Kim, freaking ripped.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember him being the character that is show so much in the first season.
He wasn't. He was showed up like in the second season, if I remember correctly. Or if he was in the first season, it was very minimal. And then showed up more predominantly as the book 2
Yeah,
and
as like
3 showed up. Same thing with
especially on 4 too.
Azula. Like here you get more of like Azula background where like and when you first get introduced to Azula, she came in like a hoss. Like she was a threat from the get go. Here she's like,
Right.
oh, just trying to work the background system. And she's like, I never get respect. No, that's not how it
No,
felt
no, I
like with
don't.
the
I don't.
animated.
No, I don't think so. But the way they introduced her here was different. How is they were introduced in
Yeah,
the animation?
well, that's what I'm saying.
But she was always part like that. I don't think she was hidden. I think she was more like always trying to prove herself,
Hmm.
and then she does at the end. It's like I'm tired of these games. She shows the lightning ability, which I thought was later on.
The way they did it in the animated, is she already knew. It's just that she didn't flaunt it as much.
Oh,
She
how many
she was more
seasons
known
in
for
the?
her blue flame. That was the thing that also caught me off guard. They didn't do the blue flame for her, and it was because her the flame was the blue because of the temperature she can get it to.
On the animation, how many seasons are there? 3 or 4?
3 books. They were considered books.
Right. Yeah, but what I wasn't couldn't remember how many seasons, but okay. And as you mentioned earlier, that Netflix did greenlit 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Do you feel that this was rushed of the seasons? Do you think it could have been more episodes?
For pacing. I mean, they're condensing like roughly 20 episodes. And matter of fact,
No, I know.
they even took some episodes from season 2 and mixed it in. So they rearranged the
That's what I
order.
thought.
No, they really did. They rearranged the order of events for some of those episodes.
I guess you have to sometimes. Yeah.
Depending on how you want to do the artistic licensing of the story, I guess that can work. If you watched the franchise before and you're still familiar with the franchise, it does stand out. Other than that, like I thought it was pretty adequate and pretty good for condensing roughly 20 episodes down to 8. Does it make some of the episodes feel a little bit long? Yeah, it can. Some of the episodes
Yeah,
didn't flow as quickly.
the one with the Mechanist,
Yeah,
which what was that? Oyosha?
Umashu. I think.
Amashu. That's
Yeah.
that island.
So,
Yeah, that did seem
which
a
is
little.
funny because, like, if I remember correctly in the series, those are 2 different locations. The whole Mechanist thing happened with at an Airbender temple.
The way to look at this, in my opinion, you have to see like an Elseworld story.
Exactly.
You
You
can't
can't be
expect it to be
verbatim.
like you could, but then where is the fun in that? Because you just now you're doing exactly what Disney does, because that's what they do. They do their live now adaptations of their original animated films, and they make it like freaking scene by scene. Maybe 1 or 2 small scenes change, but for the most part, is exactly how
Yeah.
you saw it. I saw Lion King, and I was like, "This is exactly the same." I saw Jungle Book, which they took some liberations, a little bit here and there, but it was done by John Favreau. Did not see Beauty and the Beast. Did not see
Yeah.
Little Mermaid, but from what I heard, it's pretty much
Verbatim.
copy.
Now, I
Copy
would
of the
say
original.
this: like some of the criticisms I hear online in regards to Avatar: The Last Airbender is
Mhm.
that people were like, "Oh, they changed it too much." And I'll tell you, like some of the parts. Katara, she gets the scroll of waterbending from her grandmother, right?
Mhm.
In the
Mhm.
animation, no one provides her that. She has
Right.
to learn her own, and she finds the scroll with pirates, and she has to steal it. And
Mhm.
that becomes a whole thing with the crew because with the group because she's technically going on the pretense that she's doing something self-righteous to reclaim something for her tribe when it's actually a very selfish reason. Sokka meets the Kyoshi warriors and it's like, but you're girls. How can you do this if you're girls? In that kind of situation, he dresses like a Kyoshi warrior, learns how to fight like a Kyoshi warrior, and realizes it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl if you're a true warrior. Stuff like that. That was not in the live action. People were up in arms about that.
For me, for some reason, I thought that happens later. Am I right? That
I feel
happens
like
later.
that I think that happens later. Again, that's the
They
order of
go
events
back.
being changed. He still does that before meeting the Moon Princess.
Right, but when does he learn how to use the sword?
That's like in another season. That's seasons down the line. That's like season 2 or
Is that
3.
season 3?
It's like
Yeah, because
because
I
there's a
know.
meteorite. He gets the meteorite medal, and that's all in like one episode.
Oh, where did we see that before?
Meteorites?
And it became a sword.
Blue Eye Samurai.
Oh my god, yes. Netflix.
Yes. So I'm just saying.
I
So
mean,
with the
I've also heard
Rotten
things
Tomato
about
score,
critics being extremely harsh. Like they don't like the outfits. They're saying the outfits are too cosplayish, and I was like, guys, it's like
That's how it is.
that's exactly how it is. And actually, the outfits are pretty good. They really look good. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, they copied how it was in the freaking movie series. That's nitpicking, really. And why
Yeah.
not change it a little bit? Why not have a little change
Oh,
on
and like
that?
I remember when I was at your place that we were talking about like how I heard people were upset at the first introduction of Aang, and they were saying he's flying, and you were like, that's him just gliding down. He's technically not flying.
Right. He's using the air to slow his landing so he doesn't freaking die.
Yeah,
he's, he's he never flies. I mean, the show does capture a lot of the essence or recaptures of what was done throughout the series, the animated series, where he's with the kids and he's on an air ball.
yeah,
They did that in the animated series too. I mean, this show is watchable. We watched it. We enjoyed it, even though I had some confusion in the sense of when things happen because I don't remember. It is never in a way that, oh, I'm totally lost. I still
yeah.
get it. It still has a flow. Yeah, they may marry a couple episodes here and there to help get the story along or move the story along, but it still works. This is a good show.
Yeah, they don't hit all those moments. And so some of those character developments don't happen. But unlike Cowboy Bebop, which we were critical, but we were also very optimistic because we were like, we'll watch season 2 if it came out.
And then they canceled it.
Cowboy Bebop arguably had character assassination, where like the main villain character was completely changed. Vicious. They totally changed out how Vicious was supposed to be mentally, his acting wise and everything like that. And a lot of people did not sit well with that. Here, these changes that I've witnessed, minute in comparison to a change of that character, that type. So for me, way more palatable to watch this show as a live action. I'm not even comparing it to the original live action with M. Night.
I have not seen that movie, and I'm scared to.
I know you are. We've talked about this. I said, like, well, let's make it a penalty or something. And you're like, nah, I don't want to.
I mean, I heard how bad it was.
Listen, everybody. I told my brother, like, maybe you should watch it. He goes, I don't want it to taint my view of my opinion for the show. It's like that would lower expectations.
From what I know of that show, or that movie, excuse me.
Yes.
It is basically an Indian all-star cast. Directed by an Indian director or a Pakistani director, and the actors are Indian and Pakistani. That's from what I remember from seeing.
No,
well, Zuko was played by an Indian.
Yes, that was basically all Fire Nation.
Oh, so they did different because that's what I was going to say here. In here, this is what I liked about it. You have like different representations of Asians.
Yes, but they were also very is not like you wouldn't get any other Asian in that particular nation. There were also some mixes in there.
I understand.
Yeah,
no, of course, but you have like the water tribe or the South Pole, like Eskimo, right?
Inuit.
You have that, huh?
Inuit.
What the hell is that?
Technical term.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I mean, Eskimo. But you have that, and you probably have some like Hawaiians there because Hawaiian is very popular with Asians, and they're all, like I said, you have the island that we just said, Amusha, right? Amashu. Excuse me. Thank you. They're basically Indian.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then when they go to the other place where he meets the warrior girls, that's Japanese.
Okay.
The kabuki makeup, wow. It just looked like exactly how it was in the animation.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because then there was the memes when she took the makeup off. Everyone's like, oh my God, look at her.
She looked better with the makeup on.
I mean, she looked good both ways. She was pretty.
No,
she's a pretty girl.
Yes,
she's a pretty girl.
She's a beautiful girl, but in the sense of like with the makeup, I don't know, the makeup just accentuated more, where without the makeup she looked very plain. But I guess that's how it is, right? You have like Batman or whatever, you put the mask on, your different persona or different presence. Now, who's the Fire Nation then? Are they like Korean? Daniel, the actor, is Iro is Korean, excuse me. They're Korean.
So I guess
I guess they're Koreans. But I kind of like that aspect. Of course, you're gonna have some people who blend with one to the other. But I did like that in a sense. You have multiple representations of the Asian culture. I thought that was cool. Is this worth the watch?
Yes, highly.
I believe so too. Where do you see your score? Who do you agree with on Rotten Tomatoes? Do you agree with the critics, 59%, or the audience at 74%, 75%, excuse me?
Either. I would go higher, more towards the audience though. Overall score should be like 82. It's a solid B.
Yeah, 80s is good for me too. I mean, again, there are some aspects that I didn't like. Some things felt rushed, where other things felt like it could have rushed.
Listen, all I know
No,
is
I mean,
come season 2, if they don't have Iroh singing the Leave song.
oh, that. So did you notice that a lot of times when they were playing or showing Iroh, they had that music.
Oh, they did.
Like yeah, it was subtle, but it was like foretelling. And I think that was in tribute to the original voice actor, Mako.
See, now I wonder if that music was originally playing in the first season, even
I
though the
don't think
song
so,
wasn't done.
right, it was done later.
Okay.
What's so special about that, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, Mako died due to cancer.
Yeah.
And he was still acting till his last moments. And he sang that song while he had full blown cancer, like his last days. So it kind of hits different. And I think that song is like in honor of his nephew, like his love for his nephew.
I think I heard in an interview or discussion where he in the animated series he was the character image of the son that he was singing to is actually an image of the actor when he was young. So he was singing that song.
Mako?
Yeah, he was singing a song to himself, like you said, like his final days.
Wanted so much more from the character, but unfortunately, his demise, his passing, had to, I guess, cut him out and stuff like that.
Well, no, they did. They brought a voice actor who sounded just like him.
Close enough.
Yeah, and they did bring in a lot of Iroh stuff afterwards.
Like I only remember, like he was in prison and then he escaped. Remember when he got jacked? He was lifting, doing body weights and pull-ups, and I don't remember so much after that fact. Like he gave up that lifestyle. Like he just escaped. And he wanted to live the life of peace.
Oh, he didn't. He joined the White Lotus, and he was part of the Fire Nation, like rebellion and stuff like that.
So, like I said, I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't remember that much.
So I'll say this: as a, granted, I watched the M. Night version once and left it at that many moons ago. You can definitely compare martial art aspect if you're just going 1v1 versus the live actions. Leaving out the animated outfits are better.
Who's better?
Same for the new show.
Okay.
So on the new show, the outfits are better. The actors and the portrayals are better. They say the names right.
Something I can't do, but all right.
This is true too. The CGI is better. The martial arts are better. The CGI. Let's be fair. CGI better will always be better today than it would be yesterday. But also, to be fair, around that time frame, I could watch like martial art movies, shows, and there was stuff on YouTube that were better CGI than that movie was. It's pretty bad, bro.
Okay, is it better or worse than the Flash CGI?
Worse.
The movie version is worse than the Flash movie CGI?
Yes.
Holy crap!
I know.
If that's the case, wow.
Like you see it in the trailer, like of the original movie. Like they move a boulder, like a boulder.
The boulder moves when I tell it to.
The boulder's conflicted.
The boulder says,
a little girl.
Which I did not know. I found out recently that Nick Foley, WWE superstar, is the voice of the boulder. So funny. Love it.
I digress. No, it just looked like something like from Photoshop or like like one of those cheap overcrop CGI motions. It just didn't look good. Well, one day you gotta watch it.
Why do I gotta punish myself?
We did it for Cyborg.
Yeah, but I forgot. See, here's the thing. I forgot how bad Cyborg was.
Fair enough.
I'm always told, till this day, how bad the first live action Avatar is. By multiple people.
Multiple people will never forget. They did like Full Metal Alchemist where they grabbed something, they carved Never Forget. Just so they never forget about the live action Avatar.
All right, guys, that is our series review of the live action Avatar, The Last Airbender, currently streaming on Netflix. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? As always, let us know in the comments below if you'd like us to review a show or movie, and also follow us on Instagram. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.